This movie, honestly, is like the black sheep of the My Big Fat Greek Wedding movies in a really bad way. Guess what today is, guys? Today is my birthday. I just turned 23. And to celebrate my birthday, I'm going to review this shit. Yay! Happy birthday to me. This is time for OCD Rent Style. Fuck yeah. OCD Rent Style. So what is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. This is OCD Movie Reviews. My name is Brinkat, and today I'm going to review the new rom-com movie that's also the third installment in this unexpected trilogy, My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3. This movie is directed by and starred Nia Vardalos with John Corbett, Angela Martin, and Joey Fatone. After traveling to Greece for a family reunion, Tula and her family attempts to locate her deceased father's childhood friends. Yep, this is going to be a fun review. Now, man, let's first talk about the first two My Big Fat Greek Wedding movies. I really enjoyed the first movie. I thought the first movie is definitely one of the most iconic independent rom-coms of all time. I really enjoyed the first one. It is charming, it's romantic, and it's also really hilarious because I love Tula's character. I love her family in this film, her Greek family. They're so funny in the film. It's so well casted, and overall, it's a very charming rom-com film. The second one, on the other hand, I did not mind it. I think it's messy when it comes to the story and stuff, but what's good about the second one, it still keeps that same charm, and the cast has still got it for all these years. And I thought My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2 is at least watchable, and I thought it had some funny moments. So, when it comes to the third one, at first I'm just like, did I really need to make a third movie? But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I'm not expecting anything great from it. I'm expecting it to be just a fun, charming rom-com film that's also a vacation movie. And Nia Vardalos is directing this movie, who also starred as Tula in the Greek Wedding movies, and she also written those movies. So, she is directing this movie, and it's not her directorial debut. She directed another film called We Hate Valentine's Day or something like that. I don't think no one has heard of that movie. So once again, I wasn't expecting anything great coming from this movie, but I was just expecting this movie to be at least a fun rom-com film. And I took my grandparents to see this film because my grandmother loves comedies. She loves rom-coms. And she especially likes the first two My Big Fat Greek Wedding movies, especially the first one. So I'm like, you know what? Instead of watching this movie on my own, I'm like, I'm going to call my grandparents and invite them to come watch it with me. And here's a funny story. I told my dad this is going to happen. That I'm going to take his parents, my grandparents, to see My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3. And my dad told me that is the stupidest idea I've ever heard. You should go watch The Nun 2 instead. And I thought his request is completely bonkers and ridiculous. I'm like, my grandma doesn't like horror films. I'm pretty sure my grandpa wouldn't mind it, but my grandma doesn't like horror films. So instead we watched My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3 because I thought they're gonna like this film, at least enjoy it. And throughout the film, my grandmother, for the first time I haven't seen her watching a comedy like this, she fell asleep during this movie. And so is my grandfather. That shows this movie. Because, guys, I don't blame my grandparents for falling asleep during this movie because My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3 frickin' sucks. And I really find this movie frickin' frustrating from start to finish. This movie, honestly, is like the black sheep of the My Big Fat Greek Wedding movies in a really bad way. Because one of my biggest issues when it comes to this movie is that this movie has no story. Yes, there is a plot of the movie where the family goes on vacation to find the relatives of their father in the movie. but that wasn't even explored. It's just the cast in the movie on vacation, doing some stuff, and some shenanigans come in. Not even going in their way, it's just random shenanigans, random humorous moments. That's this movie, it's just random elements coming from one another. There's no conflict when it comes to the plot whatsoever. Like, there's nothing that's getting in their way, basically, in this film. There's none of that in this film. It's just random moments after random moments with some random comedy. That is not funny. There are a couple of chuckles in this movie. I'll give this film that credit. There are a couple of chuckles. But it's just chuckles. There's no laugh out loud moments. They have a lot of running gags in this movie. There is a character in this movie that just appears to scare the cast in the movie, and it just comes like repeatedly, like 10 times during this movie, to the point where I find that so freaking annoying in this film. Now, are there positives with My Big Fat Greek Wedding Free? A couple. First of all, Greece itself. The location they filmed this movie in. Greece looks beautiful. There are some great shots of Greece, and at least this movie makes me want to go there, because it's a beautiful location. They choose a really good location to film this movie. Also the cast. They're good together, and they look like they had a lot of fun making this movie. But at the same time, there's not really that much character development in this movie. There's no character development with any of the families in the film. And there's also a lot of annoying characters in this film. For example, there's this like cousin character in this film. Don't know the actress's name. But man, this character is annoying in this film. The first word she spoke, I'm like, she's going to be in the entire movie, isn't she? And she's going to be very annoying. And she's trying to be funny, but she isn't funny. That's her character. She's not funny in this movie. And I just find her so freaking annoying. And every time she speaks in the film, I just want her to shut up. And I know she tried, but I'm sorry you failed in this film. I'm really sorry. I just find this character very annoying in this film. But the rest of the cast in the movie, you know, you see them and you do like them because of the other movies. Nia Vardalos, Corbett, you know, they're likable together. They look like a pretty good on-screen couple. But they really have nothing to do in this film. So is the other family in this film. And what disappointed me the most, Angela Martin. I really loved her in the first two films. She had some funny moments. None of her jokes in this movie made me laugh. Maybe a couple of chuckles here or there, but none of it made me laugh. And that's disappointing because Angela Martin is one of my favorite characters from the first two movies. I thought she's hilarious as the aunt in these series. In this movie, I didn't find one single joke funny from her character. Also, there's a subplot with the daughter in the film, Paris. There's this boy character that they're trying to get them together. They used to date and stuff. And of course, this movie does the predictable thing, getting them together in the film. Literally, this boyfriend character in this film is one of the worst characters I've seen all year. His acting in this movie is so laughable in this film. There are moments in the film where he's trying to be so serious in this film, and I just couldn't stop laughing. His acting is that bad in this film. So yes, there are some really bad acting in My Big Fat Greek Wedding Free, and that's very disappointing. And what I mostly didn't like about this film, with back to the story element, this movie does not feel like a movie whatsoever. Because one of the things, there's no plot, there's no story, there's just random moments coming after random moments. There's no moments where they get into sticky situations and trying to get out of it. There's none of that in this film. Just random moments of the cast in the movie just having fun and just random comic aspects of the film. But most of this movie is seriously just a commercial movie for Greece itself. Because there's a lot of shots in this movie of Greece. There's a lot of montages of random areas of Greece. Literally from the first 20 minutes of the film, I'm like, is this the movie I'm watching right now? Are you serious? This is the movie we're watching right now. Comparing to the first two Greek wedding movies, this is the movie I'm watching right now. And since this movie just felt like a commercial movie and this movie has no story whatsoever, of course this movie is boring. Nothing happens in My Big Fat Greek Wedding Free. Like, once again, there are subplots in this film. There are moments, yes, there's this family reunion that's happened, that's technically sort of the main plot of this movie, but it wasn't explored, it just happened, basically. Also, there is a wedding in this movie, because of course this movie's called My Big Fat Greek Wedding Free. We have to have a wedding. This wedding, seriously, just came out of nowhere. This couple in this film that randomly is getting married, and I'm just like, why is that in the film? It has no purpose being in this film whatsoever. ever. If they cut that out, this movie wouldn't make any difference whatsoever. Like, I would say this movie shouldn't even be called My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3. There are a couple of times they could have called this movie My Big Fat Greek Vacation or My Big Fat Greek Reunion. Or I would even say My Big Fat Greek Getaway. Remember that Channel 9 show Getaway where basically the cast of that show go to different locations and review them, holiday spots? That's what this movie felt like. It felt like a long episode of Getaway with My Big Fat Greek Wedding cast in it.
Explore newest Riverside hotspot.
We're going to Greece.
Oh yeah. Getaway, Saturday 5:30 on 9.
I know it's very random, it's an Australian show. If you're all Australians out there, you know the show's on Channel 9 and all that stuff. But that's what this movie kind of reminded me of. It reminded me of this long episode of Getaway, but suddenly a My Big Fat Greek Wedding movie. Overall, guys, My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3, man, this movie was such a letdown. Especially coming from the guy that really enjoys the first two movies. And especially taking my grandparents to see this and them hating the film, I just feel very embarrassed after this movie. This movie has no story whatsoever. It's just a commercial movie about Greece and the cast looking like they're just having fun at Greece, and Nia Vardalos is like, you know what? Let's just film a movie here. That's what it literally feels like. The cast of the movie are fine. There are some really annoying characters in the film and some very bad acting. And overall, there's no story, there's no movie in here, it just felt like a commercial movie for Greece with My Big Fat Greek Wedding cast being in it. I'm not as mad at this movie as some of the other rents I've done, but this is still one of the worst movies I've seen this year so far with Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, and I'm absolutely going to give My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3 an F. Is there a possibility that there are going to be worse movies than this movie? Possibly. I have two in my mind. We have After Everything. Yes, we finally got the final movie in the After series coming out this year. And it's going to be kind of a happy rant, I would say, because this fucking series is finally over. But another possibility, probably Spy Kids Armageddon. Yes, we're having another Spy Kids movie this year that's still directed by Robert Rodriguez, who bring us Spy Kids 3D and Spy Kids All the Time in the World. Oh yeah, and the first two movies as well, which are freaking great. But 3 and 4, I think it's going to be another one of those unnecessary remakes because Spy Kids Armageddon feels like a remake. It does. Because it is technically the same plot. And that's coming out a couple of days, actually. If that movie surprised me, I would be so surprised. But I got a feeling that movie is going to be another shit movie of the year. So is After Everything. But My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3... yep, that's definitely going to be higher on my top 10 worst movies of 2023. So guys, that is my review for My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3. Let me know what you think of this film in the comments below. Do you like the movie, hate the movie, or you thought it's okay? Just let me know in the comments below. Make sure you guys follow me on social media links down below. Keep contact with me, and make sure you guys subscribe to my channel for my latest movie reviews and other movie related content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and excuse me, I'm going to go celebrate my birthday now, so have a nice day.